do you guys challenge the confidence that the Knicks probably have being up 3-1 and coming into the building?
We just got to take care of our own court. It's not about taking away their confidence. We got to just do what we do. At the end of the day, we're playing for our season, so we got to go out there and fight. We got one more game here at home, at minimum. So for us to take care of this one game, and that's it, just one game.
You just mentioned at the end of the day, fighting for your season. Is that the type of mentality that Game 5 you think is going to boil down to for you guys?
It has to. Otherwise, we'll be having the end of year press conference right here. You know what I mean? So, we're just going to go out there, give it all, and go out there and just do what we've been, do what we do. At the end of the day, we win one game at a time. I can't sit here and say what this next game does if we win or lose. It's just we got to win this game, figure out a way, and by any means necessary.
You guys have been such a tight group, so with I guess the backs on the wall, so to speak, right now, does it kind of bring you even closer?
This is like you're in a dogfight. You're in a hole, and how do you dig out of it? Like I said, the character of our group, the makeup of our group, I believe that we'll all do our part come tomorrow. But like I said, we just got to worry about one game, one night, 7 o'clock tomorrow. Just be ready for it.
How would you describe the vibe around the team right now?
Loose, not typically people think, oh, you're down 3-1, it's supposed to be quiet and tense, and it kind of works the other way. Just loose and understanding that, we're playing for our season. We understand what's at stake, but there's no need to put that added weight, that added pressure. We've had 2 days since the last loss. We understand what happened in Game 3 and 4, so we got to come here out tomorrow and take care of business. But for us to sit here and, as you see Isaiah right here, for us to sit here and, kind of dwell in that for 48 hours, it doesn't really help the cause. We got to go out there and understand. We understand what's at stake and do our work and be ready for it tomorrow.
When you guys looked at the film from Game 4, though, what stood out as areas of emphasis heading into tomorrow?
We turned the ball over. Self-inflicted wounds never help. Rebounding as well. Stuff that we've been saying all series. And it just comes to a point where we just got to go out there and do it. I think that's our message as a group. We got to go out there and do it. Otherwise, we'll be home. So. We'll be ready for it, and we're ready for it.
Being down 3-1, being in this situation, what are you drawing on?
Just win the game. That's all I got, to be honest with you. It doesn't matter how, if it's ugly, if it's pretty, if it's by 1, it's by 40. Just got to win the game. That's pretty much the message.
Is there anything from your past that you're going back to that makes you think, hey, this happened one time, we can do it too?
I gave up a 3-1 lead before, but you know what I mean? But as far as that goes, it's an elimination game. You got to go out there and play like there's no tomorrow. That would be the only thing I'd say I draw back on, is just understanding that tomorrow is not promised. Outside of the next game, you know what I mean? But it's not promised, so we just got to go out there and fight and try to take the game. Because, like I said, if we don't, we're going home. So that's by any means necessary. We got to go out there and win this game.
Hey, Donovan, not surprisingly, you took a lot of it on yourself after Game 4. I know you embraced that. What have you received in terms of support from the guys over the last couple of days after that?
They always tell me not to do that. You know what I mean? But that's just who I am. It's like I said, I'm a leader. At the end of the day, these guys have helped support me, and I've helped support them. So for me, it's it's a no-brainer for me to own that. I got to be there at that moment, and I wasn't. But I can't sit here for the past 2 days, and just sit there and say, oh man, I wasn't there. I got to find a way to be there in Game 5.
Not a you specific question, but in general for struggling shooters, where's the line between get more shots up to build rhythm and don't shoot the team out of the
Just take the same shots. I've been getting the looks I want. Outside of a few shots, and they didn't fall. They went in Game 1, Game 2 I didn't really have to shoot. Game 3 I could have shot better than the last game I was able to shoot well. So it's just a matter of just continuing to take the same looks. Not pressing, not overdoing it. Like I said, I've made the same shots that I've missed. We've all seen it all year. So just got to go out there and continue to take them. I'm not one to lose confidence as far as shooting goes. I've had nights where I've gone 5 of 23 in elimination games. As far as taking shots, I'm pretty confident I will do that. But it's just about just taking the same shots that I've always worked on, and that my teammates and my coaches trust me to take.
Donovan, JB's talked about having to learn from mistakes really quickly, especially at this point in the postseason with an elimination game coming. I guess what's the balance for players between learning from mistakes, correcting mistakes, and not dwelling on those mistakes?
I think that's the definition of just the playoffs. Win or lose, you can't dwell on it. You can't look past just because we won game 2, we can't expect them to come out game 3 a certain way. Just because we lost game 4, we can't expect game 5 to sort of the same way. You got to continue to move on to the next moment. So for us, it's just about moving on to the next moment. We've made mistakes that are correctable. We just got to go out there and fix them. Otherwise, we'll be going home.
In game 2, you guys really seem to have the formula. How do you replicate that? How do you get that back?
Protect home floor. We're 5 games in. There's really they know, we do, we know. It's just a matter of us going out there and executing. Like I said, if we don't, then that's it. So we got to go out there and find a way, just as a group, to continue to build upon, like we said in game 2, and just little things. Even though game 3 and 4 didn't go our way, there are things we can take away from those games that are positives. I think we look at those 2 with losses and then all of it's negative. There's a lot of stuff on film that we saw are positive. We just got to build on that, execute it, and come out with a problem.
I know you mentioned on Sunday that you've had obviously bad playoff games in the past. What's your mental process of responding to that?
Just got to be better. I need to come out and try and overdo it. Just continue to play my game. And like I said, a lot of the shots I missed in game 4 were shots that I made. It wasn't like I was out there pressing or doing different things out of my character, out of my nature, outside those turnovers. But they were the same shots, and they did a good job. Throwing doubles at me, throwing different coverages, and mixing it up. So, as I said, watching the film, just coming out, just keep being aggressive. Not, like I said, not dwelling on too much, and the same shots I work on, the same shots I've taken, I just haven't gone in. And sometimes that's the case, especially in game 4. That's the case. I can't let it dwell in it. In game 5, just come out and just do what I do and continue to be aggressive nonstop.
What do you think of the quality of looks team-wide?
We got some good looks. We got some good looks, especially from the three-point line. I think there's different things that they're taking different things out of the game. That we've had success with all year. But I think the three-point shots, the different shots, we're getting good looks, and ultimately you got to make them. Otherwise, you lose the game. So I wouldn't say it's our defense that's hurting us. I think our offense is doing different things where we're executing. I'm making shots, and it starts with myself at the top and continues to go from there. So it's got to be better for game 5.
Donovan, JB said that he was on Houston's staff when the Rockets came back from the 3-1 deficit to win a series, and he said he's kind of spread the message of the mentality they adopted. How much does that resonate with you?
Yeah, it's not over. At the end of the day, they have to beat us on our home floor. We got to go out there and protect home court. I'm not here to say, it happens in game 6 and 7. It's game 5. That's the message. Teams have come back from 3-1 lead. Obviously, it's happened here, but for us, it's game 5. That's it. I'm not worried about anything after that. It's just game 5 tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Let's be ready.
JB talked about how you guys haven't played exactly with tempo. How do you guys get quicker into your offense without being too rushed when you're obviously?
Look at what Darius, did in the third quarter. Being able to push the pace. Ricky does that as well. I do it as well in different areas, but being able to push the pace, especially off our turnovers. But it also starts with us getting the rebound. If we get the rebound, we're able to go. You know what I mean? So us, now I say us, I mean the guards, kind of coming in and helping to get the rebound. So now we're the initiators on the fast break, or on the break. So just being able to do that, and it generates easier looks in different ways. And if they want to continue to stay on me, it opens up the lane, different things, be playing off ball, whatever it may be. So some of that, we're definitely up for sure.
In the half court, is there a way to kind of counteract how tight they're playing you in those high pick and rolls?
Yes.
How do you feel Evans handled his first playoff series?
I think it's a lot. I think there's different things he's done pretty well. Obviously, stats-wise, it's not always going to look, the way we all wanted to at first and the way he wants it to at first. But at the end of the day, it's a good learning process. And I've seen this last game, we probably the most confident outside of game 2 that I've seen. Just being able to get there and being decisive. And it's a learning process, man. You can't expect it to all, just come out and just be clicking on all cylinders. And you're playing against, 2 bigs who are highly active, highly aggressive. And he's done his part. He's done well. And I feel if you were to ask him, he'd probably tell you he could play a lot better. But for him, coming into his first playoff series and doing different things, helping the team, communicating on defense. He's been there on defense for us. He's had our back. Him and J.A. He's continuing to build, and he can be better, but he's been pretty good for us. And continue to build, and it doesn't need to be Superman right now. Like, you know what I mean? It's understanding that, you know, he's going out there, putting the work and putting the time in, and it's continuing to build from there.
Donovan, you stressed that this is an elimination.
So,
You stressed every time. This is an elimination game.
yeah.
How do you find that fire to thrive in such high pressure situations like that?
Me personally or everybody?
Personally, everybody.
I mean, if you need any more motivation than this, then like I don't think you're playing the right sport. You should be playing sports. Like if this elimination doesn't fire you up, you have to protect home court on your own floor, then I don't know what else can get you going for real. Like that to me in itself is like, you know, all right, like, you know, we're not going out that way. You know, that's the mindset. But I haven't had to stress that to these guys. We all know, you know, what's at stake here. But you know, as far as, you know, finding that fire, you know, I don't think any of us need it at all.
How fair or unfair
Two more
do you
questions.
feel it is that these long seasons, success of these long seasons is determined by, you know, 5, 6, 7 game samples?
It's the way it is. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if it's fair or not. You know, life ain't fair. You know what I mean? So it's the way it is. You know, we've accomplished a lot this year, and you know that's great. It's cool. But like this is ultimately what it's about. You know what I mean? And for us, it's just about finding a way to win Game 5. You know, I can't sit here and tell you what happens after that. Just for us to win Game 5 and go from there.